Good afternoon. Thank you for being here to allow the community of Acres Home and surrounding areas to know that we're doing everything we can. Centerpoint focused on the Acres Home Multi-Service Center. We reopened it. It was closed until this afternoon because of lack of energy and no backup generator, which I'm learning across the city facilities have not been equipped for generators, so that is something we must fix after our crisis. About 48 hours ago, as we all know, we experienced a very dirty side of a dirty hurricane. It came in mid part of Sunday night. I left the streets at 2 o'clock with the police chief, and I told people Sunday evening, when you go to bed, it'll be a different experience when you wake up. That was a very accurate statement. Citywide, across our region, 2.3 million people lost their energy, and we're seeing the hardship the loss of electricity causes. We also have a very serious debris problem. What we do as the City of Houston, want to reach out to every community. I'm very fond of Acres Home because I've represented this district for 50 years in the state legislature. One of our really historical, special communities. Let me point out this afternoon we are prepared with our partners of HEB, the food bank, our faith community, to do everything possible to reach out to the community. We're prepared to feed 600 people in this drive-through pickup. We want people to use the Acres Home Multi-Service Center as a cooling center. So I just left City Hall. This is where I want to be. This will be the first of several stops, but the most vulnerable among us, seniors, other socioeconomically challenged individuals, need our special attention. That's why we start in Acres Home. Thank you, HEB. Thank you, the food bank. Thank for community leaders. Thank for Tarsha Jackson and her chief of staff for being with us. Reverend Preston, longtime friend, community leaders, member of Metro. We're all coming together. I want every Houstonian to know that the City of Houston and all of its departments, the Department of Neighborhoods, Herbert Sims is here with me this afternoon. We're trying to get trees off houses, off the streets, pick up the debris with solid waste, working long hours. Public safety. When the lights out, it's dark and dangerous. Please limit your driving after dark. We have traffic lights across our community, certainly up and down Durham and Shepherd, that are out. It's dangerous to approach these intersections after dark. Stay at home, limit your driving. We've learned this afternoon that we have police chiefs across the state offering their assistance. We've had over 100 police officers from Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin, a total of over 100 relocating to Houston. The DPS sends us 40 DPS officers per shift. We're doing everything we can. What we're facing is much neglect from city government with its resources for many years. We're not going to do that, but instead of looking backwards, let's look forward. We're holding Centerpoint accountable. Centerpoint's going to have to do a better job. They're working hard. They committed to me by late this afternoon. Come on up, Fire Chief Pena. By late this afternoon, Centerpoint will have reduced that 2.3 million by 1 million individuals. 500,000 people in Houston at lunch today still needed electric services. We're doing everything we can. Chief Pena working as partners with HPD, Public Works, Solid Waste, every department, all hands on deck. With that said, I want to meet these residents, tell them that everyone cares, is important. Every community across this city, total equality. No one is going to be underserved if the City of Houston's got anything to say about it. We're taking resources to the community. And Ana, would you explain to our Spanish-speaking residents what services we are providing?
Buenas tardes. Para dar un resumen breve en español, aquí en el centro comunitario de Acres Homes, localizado en el 6719 West Montgomery Road, Estamos dando agua, comida y hielo a los residentes, no importa si viven en este local o en cualquier lugar de Houston, si pueden venir para acá, estamos abiertos sin preguntas, pueden venir a recibir ayuda. También el centro puede ser un lugar para enfriarse si no tiene todavía electricidad y clima en su casa, puede venir aquí, recargar sus aparatos electrónicos y salirse del sol. El alcalde nos quiere recordar que por favor, después de que baje el sol en la noche, no salgan si no es necesario, porque todavía hay muchas luces de tráfico que no funcionan y eso hace que todas las personas que estén en la calle manejando estén en riesgo. El alcalde agradece a H-E-B y al Banco de Comida Houston Food Bank por dar todos los productos que se van a regalar a los residentes el día de hoy. Por favor, limiten viajar otra vez en la noche si no es necesario. Y también el alcalde quiere que ustedes sepan que vamos a ver que Centerpoint cumpla su promesa de que 1 millón de residentes tengan electricidad el día de hoy a las 5 de la tarde, porque ellos están trabajando muy duro para hacerlos y nosotros estamos trabajando mano a mano con ellos y con los líderes que ven atrás de mí, el jefe de bomberos Samuel Peña, la consejera Tarsha Jackson y también las organizaciones religiosas. Todos estamos haciendo lo que podemos y juntos vamos a salir de esto. Gracias.
Thank you, Anna. Let me emphasize that the storm arrived 48 hours ago. I've never seen such coming together of our community, different levels of government, our county partners, our state, and even our federal partners. I spoke to the governor. I spoke to President Biden day before yesterday, spoke to the governor yesterday. We're in need of resources. We need generators so we can have cooling centers. We need ice food. We need boots on the ground. We're doing everything possible. The emergency center is at Pinemont and Shepherd. We've been located there since Saturday. We had emergency center employees spending the night around the clock to monitor events and distribute the resources. Reverend Preston, anything that, well, first of all, let me talk to our first responders, then I want to wrap up with our faith community. Chief Pena, you want to come advise people on safety precautions, certainly as it relates to generators.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. And then before I get into that, let me just say this, Mayor. Thank you for marshaling all the resources. We made some phone calls today on behalf of the mayor's office for some assistance in getting these trucks out here. Mr. Armando Perez from H-E-B, Mr. J.J. Isbell from Texas Transeastern, and Mr. Tillman Fertitta. We mentioned the mayor's name, and they were right on it. Again, Mayor, thank you for your partnerships with them. We are seeing an increase in our call volume. We're over 3 times our normal call volume. We've seen over 200 carbon monoxide poisoning calls in the last 24 hours. It's critically important that if we're going to use these generators, that we use them the right way. Use them outside of your home. Don't have them anywhere near your home, anywhere near an opening or door, because the accumulation of carbon monoxide can be deadly at low levels. The other thing we're seeing is individuals turning on their cars to charge their cell phones or medical devices inside the garage. That has the same effect. It accumulates carbon monoxide. You can't smell it, you can't see it, and before you realize it, that has overcome your pets or your family, and they could be deadly. If you have symptoms like nausea, dizziness, fatigue, if you feel faint, those could be symptoms of carbon monoxide. They can also be symptoms of dehydration. That's the other half. We're seeing an increase in calls for medical emergencies that are heat related. And please maintain yourselves hydrated. Stay out of the heat during the hottest parts of the day. Limit your activities to the early morning or late afternoon because you can dehydrate quickly. If you don't have electricity, we recommend you stay in the shade, stay indoors, take cool showers that can help regulate your temperature. Do everything you can to stay hydrated because the system is overloaded. The mayor may have mentioned already the issues that we're having with the hospitals. There are several hospitals that are having the same effects of this lack of electricity, and it's limiting our ability to deliver patients into those hospitals. Please, the system is overwhelmed. Our firefighters and our first responders are doing outstanding work to respond to these emergencies, but we ask the public to do their part as well. Maintain themselves safe, make good decisions, don't put yourselves at risk, and it's going to help everybody. And again, with all the resources that the mayor is marshaling and the partners are marshaling, the faith community, we're going to get through this together. But if we ask that you put your part and do things to maintain yourself safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. The Chief was emphasizing, help us help you by helping yourself. Stay off the streets. Make certain that your generator's in a proper location. Numbers to call, 311 if it's non-emergency. Emergency should go to 911. Let me just urge you, we do it so well in Houston. Look out for each other. Look out for your family, your neighbors, your friends, and particularly the most vulnerable, senior citizens. If you have a loved one in an assisted living or independent living location, check on them. Make sure the management is doing their job. Report them if they're neglectful. So look out for each other. Look out for your pets, your neighbors. Everyone wants to get to your issues as quickly as possible. We're holding Centerpoint accountable. I get a report every 4 hours. We tell them to do better, give us updates, and what are you doing to double down and get additional resources to our community. The faith community has been our partners from the very beginning. Longtime civic leader, Yale Street Baptist minister, Metro board member, my friend, Pastor Preston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just want to reemphasize the fact that we're in this together. And as we stand together, we want to make sure that we let everyone know where distributions are taking place. It's not a time to criticize, but it's a time to publicize. Time to publicize all of the locations where efforts are being made to take care of our citizens. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being out in our community. And we want the women, infants, children, our seniors to come and be partakers of what's being distributed to you. We are here for you.
Thank you, Pastor. Anna, would you come speak Spanish for our Spanish-speaking residents on the advice and counsel of the minister, and also reinforce that the faith community is our partners. But for certain, the public safety aspects and life-saving practices.
Of course. Nada más voy a resumir lo que dijo el jefe de bomberos, Peña, y también nuestras organizaciones religiosas. Hay tres cosas muy importantes que tenemos que saber ahorita. Nuestros sistemas de bomberos, nuestros sistemas de emergencias están a capacidad, estamos llenos. Nuestros hospitales también están sufriendo la falta de electricidad. Entonces, lo que ustedes pueden hacer es mantenerse a salvo. Hemos tenido más de 200 llamadas de monóxido de carbono. Esos son los humos que salen de su vehículo o los humos que salen del generador. Hay gente que está cargando sus equipo electrónico adentro del carro, adentro del garage, y eso causa que los humos se llenen, vayan a la casa y afecten a sus animales y a su familia, y muchas personas están viendo esos efectos. Más de 200 llamadas de monóxido de carbono. Por favor, no prendan el vehículo si está en un lugar cerrado, y por favor mantengan sus generadores lejos de las ventanas, lejos de las puertas. Otra causa que estamos viendo muchas llamadas es por el calor, la deshidratación. La gente se puede sentir con náuseas, se puede sentir mareada. Todos esos son signos de deshidratación. Tomen mucha agua. La coca, las sodas no son buenas ahorita. Agua es lo que su cuerpo necesita. Y para la gente que es mayor de edad, los niños pequeños, bebés o gente que tiene alguna deshabilidad, por favor vengan y tráiganlos a estos centros. Tenemos más de 30 por toda la ciudad, y nuestros compañeros de la televisión, de las noticias, están poniendo esas direcciones en sus pantallas. Estén al pendiente de dónde pueden ir para salir del calor. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. I want to thank the rank and file of the City of Houston. City employees have been dedicated. We've lost 3 individuals, 1 to a tree accident, 1 to a fire in Southeast Houston, and then Mr. Richardson, City of Houston, HPD civil employee, coming to work the morning of the storm, took 45 exit onto Houston Avenue, got caught up in deep water, and one of the more difficult things that I've had to observe as a grown-up, not just as mayor, to watch HPD retrieve one of their colleagues, one of their friends, a dedicated city employee, from like 14-foot water right there at Houston Avenue. There are many things that we can improve. And let me put down on the short top of the list. We've got to warn people about high water. We've got to do railroad-type crossings at the different locations. We've identified 49 locations across Houston where water stands in great depth. We've got to not put cones out like the city did on Houston Avenue, using their old model. It was washed away. This gentleman working, coming to work, right in the middle of the storm, lost his life. It was very sad to watch the expressions and the sadness of HPD employees retrieving one of their own, civil employee. Every department at the city of Houston, there's 22, are activated, all hands on deck. HPD went into full mobilization yesterday evening. Every employee of HPD is working 2 12-hour shifts to cover this city. They're getting other resources. Fire, doing everything they can. Concerned about the shortage of ambulances. Yesterday, at one point, of available ambulances, of our resource of ambulances, there was only 4% available, backed up at our regional hospitals. The state heard that yesterday evening, and the emergency center immediately sent us 25 more ambulances, and we're monitoring that very carefully. The collaboration with Commissioner Briones, Ramsey, and Garcia has been one of solidarity with the state, the feds, and our county commissioners. Herbert Sims, here representing the neighborhood department. His people are out here this afternoon helping our residents. So let me close by saying we're going to get through this. It's when Houston does its best work to unite, respect each other, look out for each other, and let's make the nation recognize what a great city we have. Great city, great people, but we have challenges. And when we get through this crisis, we're going to look forward and see how we can improve. With that said, I'm willing to answer any questions.
There's 600 people at this location. Do you have an idea as to how many people have already come through?
I understand when I got here 15 minutes ago, 200 people had showed up, and we're prepared to go to 600. And we will actually regroup after that if necessary. Thank goodness the HEB, the food bank, and the state emergency center had resources pre-positioned. Most of their food trucks with ice were located at NRG, waiting for the response that we asked for.
What's the last thing you heard from Centerpoint?
Sir?
What's the last thing you heard from Centerpoint?
We had a briefing from Centerpoint and Council, which ended about 1 o'clock. Their person that's been in the emergency center since before when the storm got here spoke to Council, explained some of their difficulties, what they're doing. They have to walk like mile upon mile. They have to see what the damage is before they know exactly what resource. You got to remember, as they remind us at Council, we're dealing with live wires. So they pre-position people, but they can't decide until an assessment's done of what repairs need to take place. And then you've got to worry about public safety and the safety of their employees.
Were you pleased with that response from them?
And I was pleased with it. Well, obviously, I think all of us can do better. I express that to them on a regular basis. Even in normal times, I expect more from Centerpoint. They've got a huge transmission center next to the Hilton Hotel near the George Brown. Been there for years. It was placed there when that was just a parking lot. I've insisted that they relocate it. That's the most valuable property in Houston next to the George Brown. They've agreed to relocate. So just be assured, I'm a can-do person, and I expect others to be can-do individuals and corporations and, quite frankly, all levels of government.
There's been a lot of talk about generators, obviously. And I know Jim Kidd said yesterday they've been able to meet every request that they've gotten. Federal government says they have generators on standby. Are those coming to the city, and why not if they are?
Are they coming to the city? We're receiving generators as we talk. FEMA and the president is relocating some generators. CenterPoint's donated some. The problem is often on city facilities, they weren't designed or built to use generators. So, you know, I get really, really upset when I learn the city of Houston does not have generators at essential services like a fire station. We have 9 fire stations closed, had to relocate because when the power went out, they didn't have generators. Great cities do not operate like that. It's neglect, it's severe neglect, and we're going to fix it as we go forward.
So are you saying those fire stations and maybe the service centers, you can't even get generators in because they're not designed?
Can't do what?
Those service centers and those fire stations, are you saying even if you had a generator for them, they can't use it because they're not designed?
They do have, they do them to scale. They do the generator to scale, but it doesn't do the complete job. In fact, they can't open without electricity, obviously. Most do not have generators built by design. Sunnyside has a generator. A-Leaf is in the process. But we got like a 10. The only way Acres Home, we had no power and no generation, was we got a hold of CenterPoint. The gentleman asked me, do we talk to CenterPoint? Regularly. We made this a priority. Now we're moving to the others. The West Gray Center, we'll leave here. It's been made a priority. The multi-service centers are our lighthouse in our communities, but they've got to have power, and unfortunately when they don't have power, they haven't had generators. That's one of the reasons we're conducting this, of course, the drive-through of the foods. But we're going to go in there and talk to our employees and the residents and see what the additional needs are. We have a great city, great people. We knew we had challenges. It's the reason I ran for office, ran for mayor. But during a crisis, it exposes the city's lack of maintenance and infrastructure and city services. We're going to correct that going forward. With that, let me go to work. Thank y'all for being here. Do your job and let the public know. 1, be safe. We're doing everything we can. We're holding CenterPoint accountable. And when this storm is over, we're going to do an assessment of what the needs of the city are going forward. Public safety, for sure, highest priority. And then number 2, it's going to be energy. We've got to get a reliable energy source and backup generators. Thank y'all. Let me go.
Mayor, and then point out that the sales, if they need to get their cell phones charged, there's a lift program.
Why don't you go ahead? Councilmember Jackson, whose district we're proudly in.
Good evening. I'm good afternoon. Councilmember Tarsha Jackson, represent Acres Homes, District B. And so thank everyone, the first responders, for everything that you're doing. This has been a trying time. My lights just came on last night. I'm trying to deal with my dad. His lights are still off. And so one of the things I recognize is that cell issues, cell phones. We can't get through. Even if we have lights, we're having problems like communicating. And so, but the folks in Acres Homes, there is a lift program. Do they reach out to the lift Come on, let me know. Do they reach out to get a ride here to charge their phones?
Yeah. Metro Lift is working, by the way.
So you called.
Come on, go ahead.
So for anybody who's looking for a ride to your nearest cooling center, you need to call 311 so that way they can coordinate a free ride. Metro Lift is working as well. And for those of you who are coming to the Acres Home Center specifically, there is a Lift Zone Wi-Fi that is free of charge. Okay. You just need to sign in and make sure that you are aware that cell phone towers are not fully working. So there are dead zones within Acres Homes and other parts of the city of Houston. So make your way to a cooling center with the Wi-Fi so you can stay up to date.
Okay, thank you, Rain. And I just want to echo the mayor. I'm pretty sure he said call 311 and 911 is emergency because we're getting a lot of calls with people having trees on their roof. Call 311 or 911 and then they can take care of the situation. And Mayor, thank you for your leadership and all of this.
Thank you,
Great job.
Councilman.
Thank you.
Thank to all of our partners. We're going to go to work. Thank y'all.